All right. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what we got going on. Y'all know who it is. RJD here. And we are here to talk about what the wrestling news brief. Now, I don't know how long this one's gonna be. This one might be short. This one might be long. I don't know. But we're just gonna run down some news and we're gonna keep the rest pushing. First things first. Powerhouse Hobbs has officially joined WWE. Now, I am of the belief that Powerhouse Hobbs is a genuinely respected brother backstage. Never heard nothing bad about him coming out. I know he's had the injury bug a couple of times in the last couple of years, but I am of the belief that Powerhouse Hobbs will be a future world champion, and he deserves it. Uh, he's a big dude, and he's steadily progressed over the last 5 years or so. He's gotten so much better. Not that he was bad when he came in, but he's gotten better. And I am of the belief that he's 34. I want to say 34, 35 years old. Now is the time. Go to WWE. Get in where you fit in. He's a big dude. NXT has been raided and pillaged. A lot of the top guys are out or on their way out, and they'll be up on the main roster. And he has a great hole he can fill as they replenish NXT with talent. And I think he's going to fit like a glove in there. And if he goes straight to the main roster, I think that's okay too. It's not like the brother doesn't know. Yeah, it's not like he doesn't know how to get on TV and work TV. Obviously, he's been on TV for years at this point. And it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. Now, yeah, it's different systems, but he's going to be all right. So he has signed a deal, and he is now under a WWE contract. So when is he coming in? We don't know, but he was supposed to be on the last episode of Collision to drop the he did not inform AEW he was leaving, told them at the last minute, listen, I'm out of here. So they had to hurry up and take the belts off the ops. And great. So Hobbs is 35. He brings serious size, presence, and upside to the WWE roster. There is still no word on when he'll debut, Raw, SmackDown, or NXT, but insiders believe Hobbs is expected to be around during the Royal Rumble weekend in Saudi Arabia. The fact that they're having a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia is nuts, but that's crazy. But we don't know how he's going to be introduced, and we don't know any of that. Hey, you like Powerhouse Hobbs too, huh? So I guess my cat likes Powerhouse Hobbs. But there's been talk about, AEW, he left because of the money, blah, 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 blah. I'm here to call cap on that, as I have my cap on with my freshly shaved bald head. That is 100% Mielda. Ain't no way in hell AEW did not offer this brother more money than WWE. AEW probably, now I don't know, I'm not in this man's pockets, but AEW probably offered him a hell of a lot of money, and he turned it down because, like Jade Cargill, it doesn't matter about the money sometimes. Sometimes you want to just go take a chance on yourself. Sometimes you want to do something new, do something different. Sometimes you can see the writing on the wall. All right, am I going to be elevated here? Is it just more of the same? Am I going to be elevated? Or do I want to test myself, test the free market, test the waters, and go over here to this place, try something new, work with new people, and try my luck over there and see if I can become a big star. And I ain't mad at either one. If you want to take the bread, take the money. That's good. You got a family. Maybe you got I don't know if he's married or whatever, a wife, kids, who knows. Got a family, take the money, security. You know you're locked up for, what's AEW, 3 to 5 years. You know you got some guaranteed bread coming in. Great. But if you are ambitious and you want to, all right, I know where my spot is here. Let me go try something over there. All right, let's go do that. I'm going to take less. Yeah, I'm going to be, obviously he's got a contract, so he's got the money coming in. It may not be as much money. Depends on what he negotiated. But at the end of the day, go try something new. Go over there to WWE. Go try try to make a name for yourself on the biggest stage in the biggest company with some new cats, I ain't mad at that either. So it's all A1. It's all A1. So shout out to Powerhouse Hobbs. Shout out to him. I hope he goes over there and absolutely kills it, which I know he will, because he's great at what he does, and he's going to be just fine. I have no doubt that he will be just fine. So a lot of people have been talking about Mr. What's this brother's name? Mr. Trey Miguel. Now, this is a very, very weird. Don't you jump on me. Go somewhere. This is a very weird situation. Very weird situation. Him and the Rascals are set to go to AEW and sign a contract and appear on Collision. Literally, shortly before they're supposed to debut, all of a sudden he's like, I'm taking a break from wrestling due to mental health and all this other meal that he talked about. Probably wasn't the real deal, but whatever. Then all of a sudden, his peoples got signed. So he signs a contract and then gets released like a day later. And then all of a sudden, what the hell? What is this cat doing? My cat's going crazy over there. But anyway, he signs a contract with the Rascals. A day later, gets released from his contract or is let out of his contract or whatever. And everybody's sitting here like, what the hell happened there? Why? And then he puts out a tweet talking about mental health. But now it seems we know why. Well, we don't know why, but we know why. And then he's talking about mental health. But 1 week later, guess where Trey Miguel ends up? Back in TNA. I thought he had mental health. I thought he was taking a mental health time off of wrestling. Apparently not. So, after weeks of speculation, behind the scenes, Trey Miguel made his return on the January 22nd episode of TNA Impact, entering the Feast or Fired match, marking his first televised appearance since the collapse of his AEW signing. The match is still ongoing at the time of this update and remains to be seen whether Miguel will leave with the title opportunity or a pink slip. That's kind of stupid if you bring somebody back just for them to get a pink slip. Like, I don't know why that would make sense. Pretty much he's probably won that match if it hasn't taken place already. Either way, his appearance confirms what Fightful Select previously reported. TNA Wrestling and Miguel have reconnected, and his next chapter is happening right where he left off. Yeah, so there's been talk about why he was pulled. Now, a lot of people reported that Ringside News, Wrestling Observer, and a whole bunch of other people, they were reporting that, the higher-ups in Warner Brothers wasn't feeling him because of some remarks he made with having an argument with a fan on Twitter. Made some homophobic remarks that I ain't going to repeat. And he also made some remarks about Jewish people. That was about, 7-8 years ago? And when they all four got signed, somehow, some way, these things started resurfacing. So that, quote unquote, was brought to the higher ups' attention, and they probably said, listen, we got to bow out gracefully. We know we just signed you, but maybe we didn't know about this. And yeah, can't have that going on. Let's part ways amicably. So, and they let him go. That was the story. But the real story is probably closer to somebody told probably Tony Khan, hey, yo, this dude right here made remarks about, homophobic remarks, going back and forth with a fan, and also the Jewish remarks, and also word on the street. I I guess I've been hearing that he used to date MJF's now wife. I don't know if that means anything. I would hope not. I mean, who cares? Everybody gets with everybody and all over the world. So, I mean, in the workplace, that's what people do. What is going on with this cat? So in the workplace, that's what people do. So it is what it is. I mean, who cares? But no one really knows. And if they do know, they're not saying, and that's okay. You know, it's all speculation at this point. But for somebody, there's a couple of things here. One, people do grow. People do become better people. Do I condone anything, any racial slurs, homophobic slurs, going back and forth with somebody on Twitter and saying that they're gay or whatever? No, I don't condone that. I mean, you got to keep your wits about you. When you get emotional, you make dumb decisions. And he obviously let a fan who was trolling him get the better of him in that exchange. And then he resorted to name calling. Don't condone it. He apologized, moved on. Now, I don't know the context behind the Jewish stuff. I don't know the context behind that. Nor do I want to know. But I'm sure, I don't know if he apologized for that. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say maybe he apologized. Move on. Cool. 7 years go by. Now, he may not be that same person. And I don't know. I don't know the man personally. He may not be that same person. And people may not have known, or the higher ups might not have known what was going on. And then it was brought to their attention. And they decided to let him go. But what I think happened here is somebody told Tony Khan about what was going on, and Tony Khan let him go. Warner Brothers Discovery does not give a goddamn about Mr. Miguel, about Trey Miguel. They don't care about this brother. They don't care about me. They don't care about you. Warner Brothers Discovery is worried about their bottom line. And I'm sure a signing from a wrestling company that's on their, a signing from a wrestling company, they're really not invested in like the day-to-day of that type of stuff. But you know who is invested in that type of stuff? Tony Khan. So Tony Khan probably said, yeah, we can't, this is a bad look. And they got him up out of there. Nathan Frazier done messed up the whole MSK stuff when they were in NXT because I believe his ex-girl or ex-wife or whatever had pictures resurfaced when he dressed up as Hitler, something you should not do. And because of that, he got terminated from NXT. Now, I think he apologized. He said it was dumb. I forget. Doesn't even matter. But that messed up Wesley's run. And then Wesley had to flounder around for a couple of months before they figured out what to do with him. Had a good singles run, though. But for a couple of months, that messed up the whole MSK thing. And those guys were a great tag team. So people make mistakes. And I do believe in giving people second chances. Most people, when they say stuff, most people have said terrible things. And the only reason why they're not fired or they had to resign or anything like that is because it's not on Twitter and it's not on a big stage to where thousands and millions of people can see it. But when people were teenagers, people said things they regret. When people were in their 20s, people said things that they regret. When people were mad, they said things that they regret. And this goes for us all. I will not throw stones at a glass house. I will not throw stones when I live in a glass house. We've all done things that we regret. We've all said things. It's just that it wasn't on Twitter, Instagram. We didn't have none of that coming up. But when I was coming up, I'm 38. When I was in high school, if somebody was recording the conversations that we had and the jokes that we used to tell and stuff like that, and when we used to crack jokes on each other, if somebody was recording that, me or none of my friends would have jobs. So, and I'm sure that's in most people's friend circle. Just go check the group chat on most people's phones, and then everybody be fired. I'm not condoning it, but you give people room to grow. Now, I don't know if somebody had an axe to grind and they were like, you know what? I don't like this guy. Let me go tell Tony Khan, Tony, we got these 4 guys coming in, but this guy right here, yeah, he said and did some things 7 years ago that were questionable, and nobody was talking about that. Nobody, not one person. Now there was talk that MJF, because of his prior relationship with his wife, went and said something. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I would hope not. I would hope not, because that says more about MJF if that did happen. That says more about him than it does Trey Miguel. But at the end of the day, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because probably the biggest contract he signed. Wrestlers put their bodies through enough. They grind hard. Wrestling, especially when you're coming up, does not pay well. It does not. And at the end of the day, these guys are working hard to try and get signed, to try and entertain us, putting their bodies on the line and do what they love to do, because you don't go into wrestling because for no other reason than you love it, because these guys have to work really hard, keep their bodies in shape, and all this other stuff look good on the TV. The risk of injury very high, bump day in and day out for little to no money, and then when they finally get a chance to sign a big contract, something that they did 10 years ago comes back to bite them in the ass. Yeah, it's unfortunate, because who knows? He's probably not even the same guy. I'm not the same guy at 28, at 38 that I was at 28, and I won't be the same guy at 48 than I am at 38. So it sucks. I mean, in the court of public opinion, you crucify the guy. Some things are unforgivable, but to make a mistake, it probably costed him back then. 7-8 years later, works his way back up. At least he had TNA to fall back on. So I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on here, but I just hope that nobody went out of their way to try to mess this guy up, because he's obviously got friends. He's got people that rock with him. They had a whole group. Why would you be in a group with somebody you don't like? So obviously they think highly of him because they wrestle next to him. They trust him. So they think highly of him. And, for this to happen, it sucks. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But for somebody to work their whole life and have it snatched away like that, probably was a very nice contract too. So, that's neither here nor there. It's unfortunate, but hopefully nobody went out of the way to try to sabotage this guy, because, that says more about them, because somebody has an axe to grind. They want to mess you up. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying it would be unfortunate if that is the case. But make no mistake, this did not come from AEW Discovery. That's a lie from the pits of hell. This came from Tony Khan himself, who got tipped off about this nonsense. So we'll monitor the situation. We'll continue to see what goes on and what happens. But shout out to Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm very, very, very much looking forward to him on these WWE streets, on my WWE television. And I am very much I very much expect him to do well in WWE. And Trey Miguel, he's back on TV, back on Impact. They are now on AMC, if I'm not mistaken. So let's see what happens there. Landed back on his feet. So that's all I got for y'all. I am out. Everybody be safe. I'll holler at y'all this weekend in the Northeast. It's going to be a cold one. Everybody's snowed in. So make sure you're all good. Make sure you're on point.